So I'm still working on the mobile home lab project, but I think I'm getting closer. I don't know. In the meantime, though, I've been doing some more 3D printing projects, and I designed some of these little cable management holders that bolt onto the rails, as you can, not rails, the posts, as you can see. And I made a variety of designs. Some of them didn't print correctly because you need brims, so these will stick to the bed. You have to add a brim to it, basically, that an extension around the base that gives it some more adhesion strength. But yeah, they're kind of neat. And I made 1U and 2U versions. I thought about making bigger ones, but there's not really much point. I got the dimensions in perfect, so you can't tell with this. There should be more than this one, but these two, they butt together real nice. Good spacing. I don't think there's much of a gap. Maybe a fingernail's worth of gap. And the holes were kind of tricky because the weird thing about the rack holes is they're not evenly spaced. So they're evenly spaced per U, but they're not evenly spaced all the way down. So you look at the back of this, and these two holes look a little silly because they're closer together. Well, that's because that's how they are on the rack. Because this is 1U, and that's 1U. And inside the 1U space, they're pretty much evenly spaced. Until you get in between a U. And then they're not. But anywho, yeah, so I made a couple designs. I probably shouldn't have screwed them all down, but this one's just a tube, so I made this, but no slit down the side. It works, it's strong, but I found it's difficult to get cables through it, and you can't get as many cables as you can with the slit. And the slit seems, this is PLA by the way, it seems like it's fairly strong. I believe these walls are roughly 2.5 millimeters, if I remember correctly. I don't have my calipers handy. It's kind of hard to show because of I did do a little curvature just to make it look nice. I do have versions too with sharp corners. It's just I want to do curves. Yeah, basically around 2.5 millimeters thick. And externally, as you can see, it's 25 by 25, basically square. And lengthwise, 2U is 90 millimeters, just barely. I think this is technically 88.9. 1U, these are same dimensions externally, but 1U is a little shorter, so about 45. And the ones with the slits, I have one mounted over here. You can fit 8 cables in there, so see 4 and 4. These are technically folded in half because I didn't want to grab 8 cables, but you could fit more in this if you go with the slim cables, but these are like the thick. I think these are Cat 6 if I remember correctly. Of course, the labeling's not a spot that's easy to find. Yeah, these are Cat 6, so a little bit thicker. If you're using a slim Cat 6 cable like this, I think this is just regular 5E. It's a little thinner because it doesn't have all the shielding and twists. But if you use a thinner cable or a slim Cat 6, you could probably fit 10 in there pretty easily. I probably could force one more in there, to be honest, but 8's just kind of a good number. Also, I'm not going to be using it probably, but if you look at the side of this white one here, I did make a version with some indents on the side. So this one's not mounted, so I'm going to use an example, but there's some like cutouts, I guess, not indents, cutouts on the side around here. So you can put a cable sideways, or you can go straight up. So you can see I got just a straight one here above it. So I can put this cable through outside and then still have stuff continuing up as well. Thought that might be a nice touch. There should be one on the bottom, but this is upside down right now, so it failed to print on here. But yeah, there'd be an indent on both, or cutout. I don't know why I'm saying indent. There'd be a cutout on both sides, so you can feed cables through sideways while still having the nice little tube. Otherwise, design-wise, that's basically everything I did. Alright, so there's technically 10 different designs that I'm going to be uploading the STLs for. I have tubes. I have, actually no, just looking at my models real quick here. Tube cut out, tube with, alright, 4 different designs. So I got just a straight tube. I got the tube with the slot down the side. And then I got the tube with the cutout down the side. And then I have the tube with the slot and the cutout down the side. I also made, so these all have it so all 3 holes are exposed, so you can run screws in all 3 post holes. I also did make a version with just the holes for top and bottom screws, just for strength reasons. I don't know how strong, this is with these joints, so I made a version where I eliminated these holes. Not in frame. I eliminated these holes, and there's just more material. Same with the 1U, I eliminated this hole, and theory makes it stronger. And one other thing that people probably already noticed, you got a big hole in the middle, and then these little holes top and bottom. Well, obviously you can't put the screw through that like that. But what you do is top and bottom, you kind of feed the screw diagonally. I could have made a hole there, but obviously with the size of that and those cutouts, I wouldn't have been able to make the 1U then, because there would have practically been no material. You would have had a tiny little bit of material there, and this wouldn't have worked. Also, I don't remember if this is labeled. I don't know if that's the right thread count. It's only designed for the fine thread rack screws. So I think it might be this size, this 1032 size, but if you have the rack screws with the coarser threads, they're not going to work, because these holes are basically the perfect size for the fine thread screws. The coarse thread screws, you'll have to thread through the hole. But yeah, also there's a front and back side, obviously. This hole for the back isn't big enough to stick a screwdriver through unless you have like a narrow number 2 Phillips. But the front hole is the perfect size for the screwdriver to go through. Obviously the middle hole's, really big. But yeah, pretty simple design. I'm pretty happy with it, and it's going to be really helpful for this setup because I want to do some cable management so I can put the front cover on and transport this without having to unhook and hook everything back up again. So yeah, hopefully that was interesting, and thanks for watching.